The last generation Ferrari California was probably unfairly tagged as a bit of a hairdresser's supercar. This, however, the recently introduced California T, is the first turbocharged Ferrari since the iconic F40. So, let's go out and see if it has enough mumbo to cut its tag and live up to the Italian legend. Now, the first thing you notice about the Ferrari California, particularly from the inside, is it's quite a familiar place. But there are, however, a few upgraded features in this cabin. First of all, there's a new touchscreen in between the air vents here on the dash, which signifies that the turbocharged engine is nestled in its nose. It has a couple of functions to it. It can display the turbo boost pressure, the turbo response time, as well as being a digital clock and a temperature gauge. It's also got an upgraded infotainment system with a 6-inch touchscreen, sat-nav, Bluetooth, and also ready for Apple's CarPlay. It also comes into line with the 458 and the F12 with this new steering wheel, which features all of the controls on the front face, including the indicators, the lights, and the windscreen wipers. Now, speaking of steering, well, it's actually really quite light, but ultra precise. This thing turns in really sharply, but there's not a lot of weight to the steering, which is kind of awkward for a sports car. Now, the ride is not quite as bone-jarringly stiff as it is in the F12 and the 458 as well. It's a little bit softer, designed more as a GT car than an outright supercar, and it's quite livable in day-to-day situations. It is a little jittery over pockmarked surfaces, but completely livable. At the other end of the scale, it is still a true Ferrari, and this thing has got masses of grip and plenty of character when you really up it for the rent. Where the previous California was powered by a 4.3 litre naturally aspirated V8, the T gets a smaller twin-turbo motor. Despite the drop in capacity, it lifts peak output to 412 kilowatts, while maximum torque rises to 755 newton meters, a whopping increase of 74 kilowatts and 270 newton meters respectively, and one that gives it more pulling power than any other Ferrari on sale in Australia at the moment, including the flagship V12 powered F12 Berlinetta. This one, it's got grunt everywhere. Plenty of low-down pulling power, effortless cruising ability, and that means you don't have to rev it to its dizzying red line to get the best out of it anymore. It also cuts its ability to sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour to just 3.6 seconds and reduces fuel consumption to a claimed average of 10.5 litres per 100 k's. You can easily lope along in automatic mode and let it do its job, or use these beautiful carbon fibre shifters and change gears manually. It sounds great on the down changes, and then listen to that. It's great because it's got this really high-tech sound to it with the flat plane crankshaft layout, but it's also got the whistle of a turbocharger just at the high speed, and then the crackle when it changes gears. Now, it's not without its flaws. Some of the gear changes are quite sharp, even in auto mode, and it grabs on the clutches on takeoff a little bit. The California T is the most affordable Ferrari in the Prancing Horses stable, undercutting the 458 Italia by around $120,000. But you could hardly call it cheap, with a starting price of $409,888 plus on-road costs. And any skeptics who thought that a turbocharged Ferrari was spoiling the character of those great naturally aspirated V8s, well, they're wrong. This thing is a revolution for the brand. It's more efficient, it's got more mid-range, it's more livable in day-to-day situations, and at the end of the day, it's also faster, which is what Ferrari's all about. More than that though, as Ferrari moves to an all-turbocharged future, it showcases that there'll be no degradation in the character of the prancing horse.